All right, so you guys are here for CCW, right? CCW.
Yes.
Okay. And to me, if you're going to carry a gun on your body out in the public, I want you to remember something. One of the things that I want to remind everybody, the first thing I like to remind everybody that wants to put a gun on their body and go out in the public, I want to remind you that everybody you see, it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's the person on the street corner, if it's the person next to you in a car, in front of you in line at the grocery store, behind you in line at the bank. It does not matter. Every person that you see out there, I want to remind you that somebody loves them. Somebody loves them. All right? And what I also want to remind you is this. You shoot somebody on accident, that is on you. Okay? And so I want to remind you that everybody out there you see, somebody loves. There's somebody's mother, somebody's father, somebody's brother, somebody's sister, somebody's aunt, somebody's uncle, somebody's children. You shoot the wrong person on accident, somebody loved that person. Okay? So when you're out there with a gun, and I want to remind you this, because you know who else is out there? My children. My children. And you're going to carry a gun in this community, and you want to go out there, and my children are out there. You make a mistake because you don't know what you're doing with the gun, or you think you know more than you do, or that you're more competent than you are with the weapon, and somebody gets hurt, that's on you. And let me tell you something, I don't care what your intentions are. I don't care what your intentions were. You shoot one of my children, I'm going to sell this business, sell my home. I'm going to sell everything I have and make it my mission to keep you in jail as long as possible to think about what you took from me. Because it doesn't matter how many times you say you're sorry. It doesn't. You can say you're sorry 1,000,000 times and it won't bring my children back. So if you don't understand ballistics and you put penetrating rounds in your weapon that you're carrying in your everyday carry, and you go out there and you shoot a bad guy, and all of a sudden you realize that 8 feet behind that bad guy at the Slurpee machine was an 8-year-old kid, and you put a bullet in him and he died, that's on you. Like I said, everybody you see out there somebody loves. So you shoot the wrong person, that's on you. If you don't know what you're doing with the gun, you put the wrong bullets in the gun, you go out there and hurt somebody who didn't deserve to be hurt, there's a price that you're going to pay for that. So don't ever forget that. And I want to remind you, that gun won't save you. You have to do the work. That is an inanimate object. It is incapable of doing anything. You have to make that gun do everything. Right? Whatever it is that you guys do, you do for a living, you're good at. That's why you make a paycheck. That's why you're able to take care of your families. Whatever it is. If you own a business, if you work for a business, whatever it is that you do that, and you do it, what? Every day. I want to ask you a question. Okay? If you only did your job one day a year, who would hire you? Would you be any good at it? If you did your job 6 days a year, would you be good at it? Would people want to hire you? If you did your job 12 days a year, would you be any good at it? You wouldn't. So if you touch your gun once a year, once a month, how good do you think you're going to be with your weapon? And I want to remind you all, what is the reason that you're here? Because you want to live. Because you want to protect what's important to you and protect your families. That's why you're here. And so when you think about these things, the goal is to live. And if that's truly your goal, then you need to develop a relationship with your weapon. Anything that you are going to put in your hand, anything you are going to put in your hand to protect yourself or your family, you should know as much about it as you can. I'm going to ask you a question right now. You all have guns. How many of you have read the owner's manual that came with it when you bought it? 2 people. 2 people out of this room have read the actual manual that came with their gun. So that's where I'm saying you're kind of failing. Get to know as much as you can about your weapon. Get to know as much as you can about that. That's where it starts. I told you, you want to become confident, you want to become comfortable with a firearm. It starts with knowledge. The more knowledgeable you are about any subject, the more confident you are in that subject. And it doesn't matter what the subject is. Life teaches you things. Life teaches you certain things. It's up to you to learn. And one of the things that you should have learned by now is that life teaches you that if you want to become confident about anything, you have to become knowledgeable. Because that's why you're confident at your job, is because you have spent time becoming knowledgeable about your job. That's the truth. That's the truth. All right? So, anything that you want to become comfortable with, you have to first become knowledgeable. First become knowledgeable. Then from knowledge is the platform that confidence is built on. Then you become confident in that subject matter. And once you become confident in your subject matter, after that will come comfort. So that's the process that you go through. You want to become knowledgeable, that will lead you to confidence. Once you become confident, you will become comfortable. But you can't skip those steps. You can't say, I want to become comfortable with my firearm, but I don't ever want to become knowledgeable. And anything that you put in your hand to protect yourself or your family or the things you care about, you should know as much about it as possible. Right? As much as possible. So I want to remind you, like I said, the gun's not going to save you. You have to do that. What's going to save you is the 6 inches between your ears. The gun is a tool on your belt. It is a tool on your belt like a hammer. And like I said, I've never met anyone in my life that told me, look at what my hammer built. The hammer didn't do it. That person did it. They always say, look what I built with these tools. So like I said before, what's going to save you is the 6 inches between your ears, not the gun. The gun is a tool. It's going to allow you to go to work. And just like a hammer, right? People focus on the gun. They don't focus on the ballistics. They don't focus on what goes into the gun. Well, let me tell you something. It's the bullet doing the work. It's the bullet that goes out and introduces trauma. The bullet, not the gun. The gun is just like a hammer. A hammer puts a nail in place. A gun puts a bullet in place. What actually holds the wall up, what actually creates the foundation is the nail. You put the wrong nails in the wrong place, you get poor results, right? You don't use a roofing nail to frame with, and you don't use a framing nail to roof. So know what you're putting into your guns. I have a small amount of time today to make an impression on you of the importance of these things. And so I'm going to do that. This is how I teach.